Have you guys ever had that where you walk out of a conversation with your friend or another acquaintance or something and you just, I don't know, feel empty or feel like indifferent at best? I got that when one time I started a friend group, yet we went through many activities. I've done indoor stuff, I've done outdoor stuff with them. But no matter what I did, so many times I would be going home in the car, just feeling empty, just feeling like that is not the feeling I should be getting right after something so fun. So I thought, why was that? What's going on? And one of my friends in that group said something to me that stuck. And she mentioned trust. And I thought, trust? Interesting. Was it that I didn't trust those folks? I wasn't prepared to share more. The more I thought about my feeling that I would get coming out of those conversations, I came to an answer, which was our relationship was very surface. A lot of the things we talked about was very surface level things. Like, to use an overused metaphor, it would be talking about the weather and talking about our jobs and talking about things we're not actually that interested in. And what was crazy was that I'll be so ready to talk about things that I was definitely not interested in, thinking that the other person would be interested in that topic. But I'll be absolutely petrified, and I mean scared, like legit scared, of talking about things that I wanted to talk about. Like I had something to be ashamed about talking about those topics. For my demographic, the games I was interested in, the hobbies that I enjoyed doing, the bad habits that I resonated with. When she mentioned trust, that did stick with me because it was true. I didn't trust them in a certain way. I wasn't prepared to take the next step in our relationship, to talk about things that I wanted to talk about, let alone talk about deeper things, more vulnerable things that people would definitely find fulfilling. At least I did when I finally opened up and started talking about those things. Now, I don't mean going to an extreme like trauma dumping or anything like that, nothing too overwhelming, but just small tidbits about me, about Alan. I thought, well, how do I deepen relationships? How do I take our friendship into an area where it feels so uplifting walking out of those things? It feels so uplifting coming out of those conversations feeling, wow, that was a great time. And it's not even about the specific activities you do, how much money you spend, how fancy the food you ate is. It's how the interaction made you feel. And people remember that. I certainly do. So that's why I started this journey myself. And I started looking into communication and confidence and charisma and all those things. It's like confidence, charisma seems a little bit out of whack here. It seems a little bit irrelevant. I found that it was actually super relevant because when I didn't have the courage or the confidence or the lack of fear, what comes out of my mouth was not something that I would want. Not to say that I said something that I would regret, but that it wasn't something that could take things to a more deeper level in conversations. I could see how this was really affecting my life, how I was scared to talk about certain topics, and so our relationship couldn't deepen. I felt alone, like no one understood me, that I was a unique case, that I had problems that other folks didn't seem to have to deal with. And that was destructive. Like it's really a unique place to be in a very bad way. And I could see how it would just screw me over in the long run. I will use a metaphor to describe it. It's like going into the sea with no water. Like it's deep in the ocean trenches, like it's at the bottom, but there's no water. It's like as if you would call out and nothing would echo back. It was so dark and it's so big that it expands. I don't know if that's like going into poetics or going too subjective, but to the point where it just feels like you're in an endless expanse and nothing else is there. It's just you. But the thing is, I'm not unique. A lot of people felt that way. In fact, a lot of the people that I'm friends with have felt the same. And this is something that I find a lot of professionals have come across. Like you go into high school, you have friends, primary school is even easier to make friends, and everyone is in the same kind of boat. Everyone understands each other. They're in the same thing, they're studying the same thing, their struggles are the same. You have the same amount of time that other folks do. You make time to go hang out with Maccas or doing other things. McDonald's, for some of you folks who don't know what Maccas is. Doing your sports after school, it's super easy to make friends. But then I moved into university and more than half of them went because they went to another university. And the friendship group that I talked about that I made a couple years after I left and graduated university. And so I was out of the game of like common friendships for years. In fact, the closest people that I had were some of my co-workers that I worked with for some time. I didn't actually connect as much with my friendship groups that I made in university and high school. And I actually caught up with some of my friends from high school not too long ago. They were the same. Like the friendships just drop off hard when you enter the professional world. So that's another reason why I started this channel and started talking about these things, because it's struggles that I think a lot of people go through. So I wanted to take a more proactive approach in how to deepen relationships. I wanted to know what were the things that people would say and the things that I could use and I could say that would open their gates, that would lower their guard. Because I didn't want to threaten anybody. I wanted just deeper relationships. And I think a lot of people crave that. And I think humans generally need that. We're social creatures. Now the whole thing was daunting as I'm introverted. I always have been introverted, soft-spoken, and very, very, very vigilant around how people thought of me. I was petrified of how people thought of me. But I had to start somewhere. So I started looking up YouTube, started reading books about how to talk to people, about how I come across actually when I say certain things. And there was things that I would say that would communicate a message that was completely not what I meant. It would signal bad things about me, and it would sometimes be hurtful to other people without my knowing it. I want to bring you guys all on this journey as well, on some of the things that I've learned, that I've adjusted, so that I can communicate what I actually mean from the bottom of my heart, rather than a message that's misunderstood. These are things I learned from people online, and also people who I admire most in my day-to-day life, who have rich relationships with people. So I'm doing a lot of these things real time. Some of the tips that I've been telling you about are things that I've actually done, and some of the things that I will be telling you in the future are also things that I will be doing. And I will talk about as well my experiences during the week and how it's helped me, and hopefully how it can help you as well. So all this is just illustrating some of the things that I've learned so far in my journey, and how it's made my life better, how it's enriched all my relationships, from the casual ones to the more deeper ones, and also how to get more deeper relationships, more core and more meaningful relationships, to the point where you and I both can come out of a lot of conversations feeling fulfilled, feeling loved, and feeling like we are precious and that we have something that's precious. So for those of you who are struggling along the same lines that I did, stick around for the journey. I'll happily share my lessons with you. Just hit that like and subscribe button and I'll keep you posted. All right, see you in the next one.